we've seen other teams making kind of early cuts this week. What was just the thought process behind wanting to keep the group together through that second preseason game?
Yeah, I think extra bodies in camp and still going through our evaluation process, but then also they've earned their chance to be here, and so we want to give them the best experience possible as well. So still decisions to be made, but until we feel really good about those decisions, we want to continue to have everybody.
We saw you
and how difficult is that evaluation process right now that it's getting down to the line and there's less room for error from these players? What exactly are your staff looking for as you make these final cuts?
Yeah, it's difficult just because it's been such a competitive camp, and the vibes have been really high, and so all the players have kind of gotten a little camaraderie with each other, and so that makes it even tougher. But obviously, it's a tough decisions to make, but all 15 have been great so far.
What do you use from the first game here with Minnesota till now? Because they now know what you guys can do or can't do.
Yeah.
So do you have to make the adjustments?
Yeah, I think I'd assume that there would be adjustments made on both sides. I think that both teams probably don't want to give their hand on everything that they'll experience during the season. We play them 4 more times in the regular season, so there'll be a ton of time to make adjustments as the season moves forward. I think that if you ask Minnesota, I think we're both just concentrating on our teams and being the best version of ourselves going into the regular season. So, I think that they were both in the same boat.
We've seen you have some nice long talks with Haley after practice. What kind of things are you learning about her, and what do you think she's learning about you?
Just her commitment level to being great, her willingness to learn. She's someone who's hard on herself, so I try to take moments here and there to let her know where she's progressing at and where areas we can continue to improve at, and not putting too much pressure on herself. She's got a Hall of Famer in front of her, so it's a lot to learn there and a lot of value there. So, the messaging with Haley has just been sometimes less is more. There's value in being solid and being steady, and so it's something that comes with experience. So that's kind of how our talks have been.
She's been very open with us about kind of the progression that she went through at LSU and then at TCU of kind of adapting to doing multiple roles, doing what a team asks of herself, kind of putting aside some of that young stubbornness that a lot of star guards have. How have you seen what that looks like coming into here in Chicago?
Yeah, I think that I think that each of the schools that she was at, Louisville included, there are 3 completely different experiences. She was off the ball more at Louisville, and then on the ball at LSU, and then a combination of both at TCU with a different play style. And so her willingness to adapt is just as important as her ability to adapt. And so I think it speaks to who we want the Sky to be, and our willingness to just do whatever it takes to improve and to win. And she just wants to be on the floor. And so whether that's on the ball or off the ball, she's open and willing to do so, and we're going to try to make it work. But I think that it just speaks to her humility and who she is as a person and how that translates on the court.
Haley had a really strong close to that preseason game against the Lynx. When you think about the way that she can make an impact right away, or you get on the floor, and she's especially strong defensively. Is that something you've talked a lot about with her? Like defense is a good way to start.
Yeah, I think she's shown consistency on both sides of the floor. She's got 10 assists and no turnovers in 2 preseason games. So that's certainly great to see. And then she had a huge charge the other day, a couple of great defensive possessions against Minnesota. So I don't want to put pressure or a timeline on her in terms of having to feel like she's got to contribute immediately. It's just improvement day by day. And I think we lessen the pressure on her and lessen the pressure on ourselves if we're able to look at it that way.
Got time for a couple more.
Just a general defense question. I remember you talked about for guards, it's really important to not get screened. How has that been going in practice? Do you feel like they've been meeting that challenge?
Yeah, it's huge for our ball screen defense. We got a couple different coverages that we utilize, but we just don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on our bigs when we don't have to. And so, our ability to not get screened on and off the ball is huge for us. So I think it makes us a better, more physical defensive team, and so that's how we want to approach it.
As you worked through your first camp, are you seeing this group kind of work together in a way that makes these roster decisions so difficult because they're finding chemistry and they're working so well together?
Yeah, it's kind of the good and bad part in creating a training camp roster as competitive as we did. We knew we were going to have tough decisions to make, with limited roster spots, and hopefully the league gets to the point one day where we can have expanded rosters, because it's unfortunate a lot of good players are going to end up not having places to go in the W. But we're trying to build confidence, and hopefully the players who don't make it around the league are able to put some good film together for the future opportunities. And so we're just hoping that everyone here is enjoying the time here and making the most of it.
You mentioned the
Last one.
expanded
rosters.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the roster limit that would make your job a lot easier when you look at things moving forward? Is it more like 14 to 15, or would you want more than that?
Yeah, I think so. I think having a couple of developmental spots there where you can kind of you don't have to search outside if something happens to anybody on your current roster, where you can have someone currently in the system that has been around and been able to practice and knows your terminology and your system and can able to kind of plug and play when you need to. I think that will benefit everyone in the league.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler.